Hey friends! I thought I'd bring this puppy here to say hi since he's in the thumbnail for these videos. This is Bowie. He's my puppy. He's a rescue puppy. He's probably going to want to wiggle away in a second, but yeah. So he's here too for our cozy crypto sessions. All right, I'm going to put him down. Good boy. Okay, so happy Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, which I think actually isn't until like 10:37 at night or something like that. Pacific time, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be super low key today. I just wanted to talk about some of the more fun aspects of what's going on. I mean, the Bitcoin halving was completed yesterday. Actually, I could show y'all that real quick. So if we look at the countdown that I've been using, we can see that it's complete. It was completed. I don't want to tweet your shit. It was completed yesterday at 5:09 p.m. Pacific time when block the 840,000th block was mined on the Bitcoin blockchain. So the next halving isn't going to be until 2028. So we're officially in the start of a new cryptocurrency market cycle. So that's well and good. But the other thing about this that I find really fascinating is that the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus is today. And originally, when there were different estimates fluctuating regarding like when the Bitcoin halving was going to happen, it was expected to happen today as well. So they ended up nearly being simultaneous. But for a while, it looked like it was going to happen on April 20th today. So yeah, I want to make sure that we're attracting like people that are not only thinking about trying to make money in cryptocurrency and trying to be profitable in cryptocurrency or whatever, but also people who are interested in the higher level sort of energetics that it seems like the earth is going through at this time. Because I'm very convinced that we're alive at a really pivotal juncture. And, like I believe in the rise of feminine energy happening on earth and ascension to 5D. And the astrology is really fascinating to me too, even though I'm like nothing more than like a hobbyist. I actually kind of want to devote some more energy and time to learning more about the astrology so I could speak to it with more authority. But yeah, I think that these things are happening at this time on Earth. And I think that cryptocurrency and specifically seeds could play a really important role in all of this. And I think it already has to a certain extent. And I mean, the thinking there with seeds is about sort of the feminine energy piece because there isn't a lot of feminine energy in the cryptocurrency sector at all outside of what we're doing with seeds. To my knowledge, there like really isn't any at all. So yeah, I think there's just going to be more support coming in energetically for those things. So I wanted to talk more about the astrology today. And we can look at the markets and stuff too to kind of see what happened since the halving went live. Look at this again to contextualize things. So the price at the moment of the halving yesterday was around $63,500, I believe, something like that. So yeah, we can see again what the Bitcoin price was at the date of previous halvings, um, and how that compares to the highest prices in those previous market cycles. And the halving isn't like a hard and fast deadline or something. It's not like the second that it's happened, things really immediately took off. But it has been the catalyst for all-time highs that we're seeing here that were reached typically 6 to 12 months later. But then in this previous cycle, there was this exception because Bitcoin broke all-time highs in January of 2024, beginning in January of 2024. Again, actually, it might have been February of 2024, but it was a result of the Bitcoin ETF that was approved in January of 2024. So this is all valuable information to be aware of, I think, and it's fun to think about. And we're in this cycle. If we look at the prices real quick, Gemini was down today, interestingly, and they seem to go down too often. Coinbase isn't down like ever, really. But yeah, so that's why I'm looking at Coinbase instead of Gemini right now. Yeah. So we can see that Bitcoin's up. I think this is in the last 24 hours, 1.323%. Optimism Doge. Look at this, y'all. Apparently, optimism now has a form of Doge as well, and it's gone up a lot. Huh. That's interesting. Hmm. I might want to trade that. And you can trade it on Coinbase. That's interesting. I'm going to take a look at that later. I'd probably buy it on Uniswap using Optimism, though. Actually, like, this is meant to be low-key. Let's look at that real quick. So if we go to Uniswap, and we can switch to different networks here. Let's switch to Optimism. I want to explore, though. Let's see. OP Doge. I don't know how well the search tool works. Yeah, it's like not showing me Doge on Optimism here, but it should be. If we're looking to swap on Optimism, yeah, it looks like, okay, I guess it isn't on Uniswap yet, but it is on Coinbase. How do these people have these relationships where they get shit like this on Coinbase so quickly? It's really annoying because this is going to be like this. It's literally just a meme coin that they're hyping. But I might try to get in on that to make some profits. Oh, Doge. So it literally just launched on Uniswap, like today. Or sorry, on Coinbase. I kind of wish I knew about this in advance. I didn't know that this was going to happen. And they're allowing this even though the volume is super tiny. Only $714 have been traded since it launched. Huh. Like typically with centralized exchanges like this, they're supposed to have rules where they like act like you need certain requirements for your cryptocurrency to launch on their exchange. And one of the things surrounding that is supposed to be like they want to see a certain number of people, a certain amount of a cryptocurrency like locked on the platform before trading will commence because they want to get a certain amount of trade volume because that's how they earn their money. That's one way they earn their money, in charging fees off of trade volume. And if it's like literally $715, I mean, it looks like this only happened like what, 2 hours ago or something it launched. But that's super low volume. Huh. Just to share this too. I mean, this annoys me because it just shows that Coinbase doesn't actually have rules. Like Siege should be on Coinbase if this is their stupid, if this is enough. And like I don't think they explicitly state what the rules are supposed to be, but there's sort of a general understanding. Um, that said, when there's super low volume, you need volume in order to make trades. There needs to be enough liquidity available so that people can execute trades frictionlessly. And trade volume just helps the market to move in a more frictionless manner. Um, it's a sign of sort of a healthier market, I guess I should say. Liquidity is what's necessary for trades to be executed in a frictionless way, and liquidity just means that that cryptocurrency or whatever the asset is available for trade on the platform in a large enough amount so that everybody who wants to trade it can trade it. But sometimes when something is low volume, like this is, it can just pose an opportunity to make sort of big chunks of profit, um, hmm, with a relatively small amount of money. Like if I traded this right now, Coinbase won't let me trade though. I could probably drive this price down a ton by myself because the volume is so low if I traded a couple $1,000s worth of it. I hate Coinbase, y'all. The reason I can't trade on their platform is because they banned me like I don't even know, 7 years ago probably or something. Because I asked about an issue on their platform. It was something like it should not have been a bannable offense. It's not like I was intentionally being difficult or did anything that was like not kosher. And then I asked them about the issue, and then they just banned me because they're fascist. And I still can't use their stupid platform today. I just recently tried to open up another account just to see how long it would take to get started on the platform now. And they said I couldn't trade. Like they matched my social security number or whatever it was. They're fascist. But I want to trade this, and I don't know where else I can do it. Anyway, I'll look at this more later. I mean, I could look real quick to see, just in case this is interesting to anybody, to see if it's trading anywhere else. Where is ODoge trading? I mean, if I get the contract address for this, I should still be able to trade it on Uniswap, assuming there's any volume there at all. It's just not showing on the pull down menu. Uh, it's probably not going to give me the contract address here. I should be able to search for it on Optimism's Block Explorer. Look at this. Okay, so this is BNB Smart Chain Explorer. So something to understand about these various DeFi platforms that are like copying off of Uniswap basically is that they have their own forms of different cryptocurrencies. So apparently like BNB Smart Chain, which is not a smart chain and I would not recommend using it. It's Binance's Ethereum ripoff slash Ethereum ripoff, and then they have an exchange called Pancake Swap, which is the Uniswap ripoff. It's super centralized, and I just don't trust Binance generally to be either ethical or to create a good product. So yeah, I caution you to stay away. But this is just interesting because like they would have tried to get in on this hype because there was so much Dogecoin hype in like 2021. So they would have created like a compatible version of Dogecoin for their specific blockchain, BNB smart chain. And so that's what that is. But I just want to look up one more thing to see if I can't find Doge's contract, Doge's contract address or zero Doge's contract address. Optimism Block Explorer. Okay, so this is the Block Explorer for Optimism, which is a layer 2 solution built on top of Ethereum. And so this would be where we'd go to look up all transactions on Optimism. It says it'll let me search by token, except it's not showing up there as such. Doge isn't working. Where the hell is this token? Things in cryptocurrency can still, even now, be kind of such a mess that it can be hard to find stuff. Like, if this is on Coinbase, which we saw that it is, Optimism Doge. I wish I could just trade this on Coinbase. It'd be easier. Um, so like I should be able to find this. Maybe it's O Doge instead of zero Doge. That's what it looks like here. But here it looks like it's. I guess that's probably my mistake. It's a typo. O G O G E. Nope, it's still not there. So what I would want to do is try and find the contract address for this particular token and then see if I could trade it on like Uniswap because Uniswap allows you to make trades on Optimism. It's not the only platform that allows for that, but I could also maybe look at the Optimism bridge. This is like more advanced shit or whatever. I just want to see if it's on here. So the Optimism bridge, like all layer 2 cryptocurrencies, will have what they call bridges to help people move from the main net. So in this case, Ethereum is the main net to the layer 2 solution. So the idea is like the main net is layer 1 and then there are these layer 2 solutions that are like cheaper to use and store data in more efficient ways or whatever. So they were created to address issues on the main net, typically with Ethereum, regarding like how expensive gas fees have gotten in the past and issues with like throughput, yeah, just speed, transaction speed, and so forth. So all of these L2s will have some sort of bridge to get you from the Ethereum mainnet to their layer 2 protocol. Um, I just want to see what they have on Optimism. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can do that here. Here was the airdrop, by the way. I got like a very healthy Optimism airdrop. And this is sort of more common lately in the last couple years. I had just used Optimism, and there was no talk of whether or not they were going to introduce a token, their own cryptocurrency. But it stands to reason at this point that if a new protocol comes out, a lot of times what they'll do, yeah, I'd still say this is true, is they'll have like a surprise airdrop to reward people who use their protocol. And so that was what happened, and I kind of assumed that that would happen at some point. And then it did, but I was still surprised when it happened. I didn't know like when it was going to happen. And they gave me, a bunch of free OP, which is their token, to thank me for using the protocol a certain amount. And I sold it. That was worth over It was worth over $5,000, I remember, at the time that I sold it. I think that's right. So yeah, these airdrops can be valuable. And they're fun because they're so often a surprise too. Yeah, so that's the thing. I don't know how I would find this token and I want to trade it. Every token listed on Optimism. I'm totally off on a tangent, but I think maybe it's kind of good to show something like this. I don't think this site is going to have information that we need because, like, since it's still a mess, since the cryptocurrency sector is still messy, um, sometimes you're going to have to like dig around to figure out how to find a cryptocurrency you want to trade and figure out like what platforms it's on and whatever. And in those instances, you may end up using a platform like Binance, even though I caution people to stay away from Binance because they're sus. But sometimes, I mean, they are the biggest centralized cryptocurrency exchange in the world. So on occasion, I have used their platform to get a cryptocurrency if I wanted to trade it, and it didn't look like I could find it anywhere else. Huh. I'm gonna keep looking into that. I really want to trade it now though, but nothing's happening. Ah, oh, it just went up a little bit more, y'all. Maybe this is delayed because it hasn't reflected. It's not reflecting this volume. Damn it, because that's a huge increase. It just went up, what? I don't remember what percentage this was before. I want to trade this. Oh, it's only available through Coinbase Wallet. Okay, so I could use, oh, that's exciting. Huh, okay. I can't show y'all that though because OBS and mobile, I'd have to like completely change my setup. I'm not even sure how to bring my phone in, or I'm sure there's some way to do it, but okay, that's exciting because I have a Coinbase Wallet self-custody tool. Yeah, so they don't make that clear in this little disclaimer or whatever down here. That's so exciting. I can do it. I can trade it within my Coinbase wallet. Maybe I'll mess around with this and then like post in our Discord or something later today if anyone's interested in what I do. But yeah, this just feels to me like it's like totally a junk trade, but it just went up a fuck ton and the volume's really low. And it's like a dumb meme coin, but you can trade those sometimes and make money. Hmm. So now, okay, this seems like it's a new UX thing on Coinbase's part as well because I'm on, you can see coinbase.com, and that's their centralized platform, but it's actually showing price data for an asset that is only traded through their self-custody tool, which means it's trading on DeFi platforms. So they're pulling data from more sources now. This didn't used to be the case. Yeah, I'm totally going to trade this later. I'll put this down here so I remember. Anyway, that was a long tangent, but sometimes following those tangents can make you some money. So yeah, we were looking at this list and I don't know why it's ranking these in these two. Like, Bitcoin and Ether. There we go. Okay. Now we got these are rankings according to market capitalization, I believe. Yeah, I think that's right. Market cap here. Yeah. Okay. That's why we can see it's ranking by market cap because there's a little triangle here. Okay. So yeah, Bitcoin came up a bit since the halving, but it wasn't like super dramatic or anything. This is the last day. Yep. It's just tracking up a bit, but nothing drastic. And Ether came up a bit as well. So there's that. I made a trade the other day. The other day being like last week, I think, last weekend maybe, or like right before, maybe like last Friday. And it had dropped below 3,000. And it got back down there again. I think I caught it like right around here. Yeah, around Saturday, April 13th, I think. And I was like, awesome, it's dropped below 3,000. I know the halving's coming up. So I want to try and load up. So yeah, I bought some more in here-ish as it dropped. And sort of been bouncing around. But it's tracking back up because we can see it's making higher lows. This is a higher low and we're getting to a relatively higher high. So this makes me think I want to load up on it even more. So I might try to do that today too. Anyway, so there's all that. But yeah, I did want to talk about some fun stuff. I mean, I think this part is fun too. It's fun for me anyway. I hope it's fun for y'all. But yeah, just in terms of the astrology. So we know that the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is today. And I'm sure a bunch of y'all are much more seasoned astrologers than I am. But, you know, like in a nutshell, we know that Jupiter makes things bigger. Uranus is about tech and community and decentralization and sort of like networks as opposed to hierarchies. Capricorn is about hierarchy. So that points to this idea of things getting bigger in the cryptocurrency sector. And then this conjunction, and the last time, as I understand, that the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction was in Taurus was in 1941. So it's a while ago. And Taurus is about value and money and so forth. So it just really looks like it's pointing to energetic astrological forces that are, keying us into this idea that this cryptocurrency cycle could be big. And I'm not sure how long the influence extends. I'm sure it's several months from today. But it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. You know, like if we look at graphs or something in a year and a half, to see how the movement in the cryptocurrency sector coincides with the influence of this conjunction. I think that's fun to think about. Another astrological thing relating to cryptocurrency that I have never seen a single astrologer talk about. There aren't very many that talk about cryptocurrency anyway, because, I mean, there are some. Certainly when the cryptocurrency market's going up a lot, there's more astrological conversation about crypto. But I've never seen a single astrologer that I found online or anywhere. I mean, I find most of them online, who has talked about this idea of the Pluto return of capitalism. There are people that are absolutely talking about, this idea of the Pluto return of the United States. And that's a big deal. And we're seeing a lot of issues in the States that seem to be relating to this. I think the next election is like harbinger isn't the right word, but I think it really sort of displays this kind of energy because we're going to have two 80-ish-year-old white men, one who's on trial for criminal actions. Like those are our options. So we're really seeing how this like binary system is not working and has to change. So like I've seen astrologers talk about this idea of the Pluto return of the United States and how that means things that aren't working are going to collapse and they'll have to be addressed. Pluto destroys those things. What I haven't seen conversation about at all, and I'd love to be able to talk to an astrologer who actually knows what they're talking about, like somebody who's more than a hobbyist like I am, to talk about the Pluto return of capitalism. Because, I know what I know, but I'm just like a hobbyist at best, like I said. But we do know that the Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith's, what's the word for great work? Magnum opus, I guess, the phrase. That was published on March 9th of 1776. And like obviously the Pluto return of capitalism, the Pluto return of the United States is using the July 4th, 1776 date. So these two things happen very quickly. And Adam Smith, is credited with being the father of modern economics. And the book is about self interest, and his thing was like the invisible hand that moves the markets and all this nonsense. What's funny about that, I mean, I should qualify that. It's not total nonsense, but the idea that humans behave solely in a way that is about their own self interest is not at all my experience of what humans do. Certainly, what women often do. A lot of women are doing things constantly for other people. And it's not just women, but I often see that in women. And and also just this idea that people, it's a really stupid foundational idea for an entire economic system. Anyway, so that was also in 1776, and like one of his things was this idea that this is funny. Okay, so one of the famous quotes from that book is this idea that it's not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own self-interest. We address ourselves not to their humanity, but to their self-love, and never talk to them of our own necessities, but of their advantages. So this is what he said. He's like, none of these people you don't get your dinner from these people out of anything except for their own self-interest. This is an important foundational idea for this entire sort of economic structure that he articulated in The Wealth of Nations. At that time, and for the majority of his adult life, Adam Smith lived with his mom. He lived in her house. So there's this book you can check out, Who Cooked Adam Smith's Dinner, by the Swedish economist, A Story of Women in Economics. And so it's just this idea that like he's literally writing this and designing this economic system that is so fucking dense that it has no awareness of the fact that literally his mother is cooking his dinner and taking care of his dinner or whatever. They were probably wealthy enough that she wasn't doing the cooking, and they probably had servants and whatever, but um like that he wasn't inclusive of that when designing this economic system. So the idea that everything is about self-interest doesn't include this idea that, a mother caring for her child is probably not behaving exclusively 100% out of self-interest. And there's no space in this idea for like feminine contribution in the sense of feminine energy and the divine feminine, like what I think about is creativity, nurturance, rest, receptivity, all these sort of energetic things that are important for people of all genders. We need to nurture that side of ourselves as well, obviously. There's no space for that in this stupid economic system. And so because this was published in 1776, we should be going through a Pluto return of this form of late stage capitalism as well. And that's super exciting to me. And I think we're seeing it because so much of what's going on is unsustainable. Like inflation has been crazy, and cryptocurrency presents a counterpoint to that. Um, in a lot of projects present a counterpoint to that. Seeds is one. And then just this idea, like, I mean, there's so many problems in the system. The idea that you have to pay to live inside a house, certainly rent is crazy, I think. So yeah, I mean, I could rant about all of those flaws for a while, but I feel encouraged because energetically speaking, it feels to me like we're shifting through a lot of that stuff, and it's going to have to change soonish, and it is changing. Um, but yeah, I really wish I could find an astrologer who is like well schooled, who could speak to this in more depth, um, like at a greater depth than I can. But it's, I think, interesting to think about. Yep. Um, okay. I think that's kind of it. I just wanted to have like a super chill, low key thing today. Let's see if there are any questions or whatever. Um, I'll leave this up because our course closes today. And I put the link in the chat before. What's up, y'all? We got some regular folks that are hanging out regularly. Not that you're regular folks. Yeah. So yeah, I won't keep you for much longer. I don't really have much else to say. I just wanted to chill for a little bit. And yeah, if you're interested in the course, the link is in the chat. It's also in the description if you're watching this video later. And it closes just before midnight tonight. And it is live. I teach it live and it's also recorded. We cover the idea is that you leave the course with confidence and a set of skills that allows you to make your own trading decisions in the cryptocurrency sector that can be very profitable for you. That's the goal of the course. And it includes seeds cryptocurrency, so that makes it effectively free when you pay up front. There are payment plans of up to 36 months. Some of them are interest free if you want to check those out. And yeah, and because you get the seeds, past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but um, like just getting the seeds alone in the previous market cycle would have meant that you made a lot of money, even if you did literally nothing that the course teaches. If you did stuff the course teaches, it could have been even more money. So there's that, and the course sustains us so that our social good project seeds can help people in need around the world, and so that we can ensure that 100% of the value of gifts go to people in need around the world. So check that out if it resonates. And I think that's all I got. All right. No questions or anything. Thank y'all for hanging out for a little bit, and I'll catch you later. Take care. Happy Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. Bye.